Hello, hello. Welcome to the second episode of The Cookie Jar, where we'll be discussing cost dressing in the cosplay community. So, as you guys know, today I'm sitting down with an individual who is a cosplayer who has taken an interest of the cross dressing space. We'll dive into their world, where donning a costume isn't just about fabric or thread, but about stepping into a whole new identity and breaking down society's rigid gender constructs. We'll uncover the unspoken politics swirling around the cosplay scene, tackle the unique challenges these cosplayers face, and explore how their artistry interacts with personal identity in profound ways. You get to hear firsthand how they navigate that community that's all about challenging norms while celebrating their passions. So whether you're a seasoned cosplayer or just curious about fascinating corners of the world, stick around because this conversation is one you won't want to miss. So let's go ahead and bring out our guest.
Hello,
Hello.
everybody. Hello, I am Silveryori. Uh, I am 27. Uh, I go by. Oh, sorry, I have to like the streaming like double. I could hear it twice. So, I go by he/him, and I play a lot of gacha games. A lot of the cosplays that I do like to cosplay do come from gacha games. Sometimes they'll come from different games, but it'll be mainly gacha.
That's wonderful. So, as a cosplayer, you definitely do know that cosplays can get expensive real quick. So,
Mhm.
what's the typical cost range of you spending on each cosplay and how does it vary?
So sometimes cosplays would cost me about like at most maybe around like $200, but I think they'll like I mean the range for it would have to be like around 100, 200. Something over that would be a little bit too much unless I'm like really committed to cosplaying that character.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it could go a little bit over the limit if I really want it, but generally speaking, it would be around the $100 to $200 range.
Yep. I'm not surprised when you drop that number. I'm like, yeah, that's accurate. It takes up like a whole paycheck for the most
Oh
part.
yeah,
So, like, what is your most expensive cosplay so far?
most expensive one. I mean that would technically be the recent one, so the Topaz and Numbi, because the Topaz one itself, that is just like there individually. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
order Numbi and the gun that Topaz uses separately. So adding that all together, you're looking at like a little bit over 200. But I was still like committed to do it.
And you know what? It's all about the commitment. Like, once you
Hmm.
committed that far and you drop that much money, it's like, damn, I might as well. I might as well keep
Yeah,
going.
the very big thing.
Oh my god. Like, for me personally, one of my most expensive cosplays still to this day, I think, is still my pink pyramid head, which costed over $1,000 to make in total. So, yeah.
That one was really good though. Like I wasn't expecting to be like an actual like life size pyramid head. So
I don't know.
it's
I really
understandable.
said all or in or nothing.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was costed a pretty penny, and now it's kind of like melted. That's the thing; it's melted and everything. So we don't talk about
Yeah,
it.
you can
So
always fix it.
yeah, we can always fix it, but
Hmm.
it's just a little painful. Damn, I was like, damn, that's a lot of money, and it's just dying in the corner.
Hmm.
All right, so let's go ahead and start this segment. So, as a cross dresser, what challenges have you encountered while cross dressing?
So I would say there's like about two, or maybe three things that stick out. So number one would definitely be the sizing. So first, when I was cosplaying Yunarakami, I wasn't really paying too much attention on the sizing of the slacks. And once that happened, I had to just go out somewhere to like Ross or like anywhere to just go get a different pair of slacks. And generally, like any slacks on him, like would just look fine on him because he's just a student.
Yeah.
So that like sizing is important for sure. The second thing that I encountered was recently during Anime Expo. So I was like walking around with the Topaz and Numby cosplay, and so what Topaz wears are the high heels, and I didn't know too much about high heels. I thought they were just like shoes, but you know your heels were lifted up.
Oh, honey.
And what I didn't realize is that by walking around on them too much, they would start to ache really bad. So, like 3 hours in, I'm walking around this crowded artist alley, and then I go to a booth to buy like a few prints, maybe a shirt, and this lady is it was like, oh my gosh, like I like your cosplay. I'm like, yeah, thanks. It's my first time. Like, hey, my heels do kind of ache, but I am getting used to it. I told her that, and then she's like, oh honey, oh you need to like take hourly breaks while you're wearing those. And I'm like,
Yep.
what, really? And she's like, yeah, like that's like you need to. Your feet are gonna start to hurt a lot. And I'm like, let's just see what happens.
Oh, you fool.
So I walk around for like maybe 2 more hours. All of a sudden, I'm like sitting down on the floor, just not wanting to move. It just feels like my toes are about to come off. So
Welcome to the world, high heels.
So by the time I got back at the hotel, I wanted to like that's the first thing I did. I just took them off. And I got in the bath, and I took like an hour-long bath. It was awful.
Honey.
But it was like all in all, it was still very useful information.
Now, do you believe cross-dressing has any like ties to sexuality? Do you think it has an effect on sexuality? What is like your experience on that?
As far as sexuality goes, I feel like it shouldn't affect it that much, because like cross-dressing in general is kind of like any other way of like expressing how you go at these cons. And as far as like my sexuality goes, so I kind of want to like tell a story about this.
Go for it.
Back in like 2018, I made like a Tinder account, right? And it was telling me like what my preferences were. And there was an option in there that I kind of didn't know what it means, but I still put it in there anyway. So I put straight and questioning. And I'm like, what does questioning mean? And then I asked my friends about that, and they asked me the same thing. They're like, what even is questioning? And I'm like, that's the question. It came of the Andrew Garfield line.
So, for this last question, for this segment, what advice would you give to another like male cross-dresser? Like, how would you what would you give so far from your experience?
This is what I would say. There are 3 key viewpoints that you for sure need to follow. Like, you have to be locked in for this. Number 1, hygiene. Very easy, right? Hygiene. Just have good hygiene.
Yep.
It's kind of like an everyday thing. Number 2 would be hydration. Water's always key. You don't want to like, because this happened to me during my Huta cosplay. I had like a sudden like leg cramp, but that was because I haven't had water in like, I don't know, maybe like 4 or like 5 hours in. When I think I was in like day 3 or maybe 4, it was in one of those days. But I was having leg cramps, and because I wasn't like drinking enough water, because they were selling water for like $5 for just a 12-ounce water bottle,
God.
which is insane.
The con prices. Oh my god.
So hydration is important, hygiene, and then the third last thing I would say is, I said this before, it is commitment. Because when you're cosplaying, it's all about you. It's about what you think. It's about if you want to do this cosplay, don't listen to anything else unless it is constructive criticism. Then you can look your absolute best and move around and not have leg cramps, and yeah, just look your best.
Look your best and hydrate for sure.
And hygiene.
In hygiene, please. Oh
Don't
my
want to be
god.
smelly.
There's so many conventions that smell. There's so many. You're lucky you get to wear your mask, because sometimes you don't get to smell it.
I mean, yeah, that might have been the reason why, but you know.
Oh my god, it's just like that's actually interesting you bring up with the hygiene and the hydration and just looking your best. Like all those great points. It's just a lot of people don't go that hygienic to cosplay community, like to the like conventions. They don't, and then I'm just like, why? Like bring deodorant with you or some perfume. Just bring something, even wipies, anything, or the
I
hydration too.
I've heard stories where instead of people just taking showers, they just put on body spray and just go right into the convention. A body spray alone is not a shower. Let me just say that one more time. An Axe body spray is not a shower.
It's not, but they shower themselves in it. That's the thing.
You need like a proper shower with like
Mm,
water,
and
soap,
soap
and body wash, and shampoo.
and just
Sometimes conditioner.
anything, just smell a little bit better. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And yeah, with the hydration, yeah, there's some people that just don't hydrate at all. Um, and I get it. There's some people that don't because one, they forget, and two, like they don't want to have the water bloatation, especially if you're showing a little bit more skin. So people are just like, it's okay, I'll suffer for my craft. I'm guilty of that. Like there's times I'm like, I don't drink water because I'm just like, I need to look skinny. That's me.
Mm.
But no, like I get cramps and stuff. Like it's definitely like suffering for your craft for no reason.
Oh, yeah, it's not good.
So now we're gonna start moving into the political segment slash drama segment. So this is a warning to viewers who might be a little bit uncomfortable about the topics of politics because this is gonna happen a little bit later. We're gonna start off with like drama questions and then we're gonna move into politics. So this is like a warning, a preemptive warning. If you don't like politics, then it's best to just mute and wait till the end because I think it's important to talk about this because there's some things that are going to be affecting cosplayers from here on out. How do you feel about minors cosplaying like has-been and hell of a boss characters? Do you think they have any business being in that fandom?
I think it. I don't know. It's kind of like it's hard to like pinpoint to like what I'm trying to like say about this, because like, I mean, I guess it's kind of like it's kind of like okay if they're like around, you know, if they're not alone, I guess in the general sense, then I guess at some point it's okay. But if they're going to these things sort of alone, that's where it gets kind of a little shaky, I would say. There would definitely have to be people around just to see what they do, because sometimes it's not on the fault of the the person, like, well, I mean, no, the fault, like, it I think it kind of goes both ways, because like, sure, they're like they're underage, but they're also like, um how would I say this, if they're like, oh man, how do I don't know how to like put this into words, but honestly, they should just be under supervision. Is what I'm trying to get at, because literally anything bad can happen if they're just left unsupervised.
And it's true. There's actually like a lot of minors that go by themselves to these conventions at like 14, 13. And I bumped into them and I was like, where are your parents? And they're just like, oh, I'm here by myself. And I was like, to me, that's crazy. I feel like if you see someone that looks underage or something of that, like I feel like if they don't have a guardian, they should not be allowed to enter by themselves. Absolutely not.
Yeah, it is very dangerous, especially in this day and age.
It's horribly dangerous because it's so easy now to just like grab someone and be like, hey, you're mine now, like, and it becomes like a lot of like, especially when you're young, you're kind of like gullible and naive to these things and you don't realize these people can like hurt you or be like, hey, like, just like, it's just, I think that should be a rule. I don't think minors should be allowed to be there by themselves. They should be with an adult. of some sort.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, this year I've been seeing a lot of people getting canceled or being attempted at being canceled for just talking to minors. And it's not good when that's on you, because that is very career ending.
No, it is, and it's crazy because I'm like, what? It's like it's even worse than when they do know their age and they're talking to them like that. Anyways, I'm just like, why are you stupid?
Yeah. At that point, they're striking a chord, and it's most likely a minor.
And
You know what I mean?
I can't with you. Okay. You know what? I can't.
I'd have throw it in there.
Okay, so there you go. There's the clip.
But yes. So like, I just want to say, just be safe with who you talk to. 'Cause you never know.
It's true. You just never know. All right. So one last warning before we start switching into actual politics. We were doing the drama aspects, but now it's time for the actual politics. So, Silver, as you know, a certain person got elected into office.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. With Project 2025 being put into motion, are you aware of the tariff laws that are going to go into effect? And if you don't know what a tariff is, it's a tax on import or exported goods between countries. And since you are aware that most cosplaying materials and cosplays themselves, etc., do come from China, how do you feel about the rising prices that will impact your ability to cosplay?
I think it depends on how severe the the tax will be, because as of like how I'm seeing it before I look at this entire like tariff plan. Am I pronouncing it right? Tariff.
It's like
Tariff.
tomato.
Tariff.
You could call it tariff if you want.
Right. So as far as I know about the tariff plan, boy, I just hope it's not too pricey with these things, because I'm already paying at most $200 for the things that I want to cosplay or cross dress, and I'm already taking I take about average I don't know, maybe like 500 at most to these conventions, whether they're 1 day, 2 days, 4 days, maybe a whole week, just 500. I don't have to go too crazy on it. So I've gone to, I think it was last year's Anime Expo, where I took $1,000, and I forgot what I even spent all that money on, besides food and hotel costs.
Damn, it's I'm telling you now, it's about to get a lot more expensive from what people have been theorizing and seeing the percentage. Yeah, it's about to be 200 is about to probably become $400 kind of thing.
Oh.
So it's definitely it's been a topic that's trending right now in the cosplay community. There's actually been quite a bit of TikToks talking about things are about to get a lot more expensive, and cosplays are about to be it's gonna be hard for especially people who store buy their cosplays. It's actually kind of important to start buying cosplays now before those prices increase, because most of these cosplays do come from China. For example, enamel pins. There's actually no enamel pin companies here in the United States. Most of that's only in China, and enamel pins are really cute. But now the taxes to get those imported is going to be insane. So actually, which moves me on to this question, is that Artist Alley is going to get heavily impacted by this. So do you think that's going to affect your ability to purchase merchandise? How do you think that's going to affect you personally?
Oh, I think it definitely will. From last year's Anime Expo, so I was actually trying to find some Nikkei stuff. This was I think 1 year in after Nikkei released. A lot of these well, there weren't a lot of Nikkei merch. The only thing that I found as of last year were acrylic stands, and those were already crazy expensive for an acrylic stand. These were only like $40 for an acrylic stand of just one character. That's already insane. And if I kind of see something like that being doubled, being somewhere at like artist alleys, that would definitely be pretty bad. Like, you would
Yeah.
definitely need to save up a lot, plan ahead. Same thing with the thing about like purchasing cosplays that are store bought from different countries. You definitely need to plan ahead, like, now that they're this expensive.
Do you think it's gonna make you want to buy less now? Like, are you gonna be more picky at this point?
I think it's like you absolutely have to be picky now. So I mean, from how I go about with conventions, like, I think uh from Anime Expo 2024, what I do first is that I browse everything, and then I pinpoint what I want to buy, but I don't buy it right away unless it's something as, like, the pretty shirt.
Yeah.
But I mean, for this being $30, it was like I want that. So definitely things that you want to buy, you should probably just make like a shopping list of like things that you would want, or things that you kind of don't want right now, and if there's an online store for it, you can always just buy it later.
That's true.
So that can be a saving grace for a lot of people that want to spend at conventions.
And I think with this going into law, the problem is that artists are going to have no choice but to increase their prices, because in order to make up for those like imported goods tax, it's sad, because I saw like some artists, like, they don't want to, but they're going to have no choice. So I think what you said right now, I think most of them are going to have to like put up the online store and be like, this is your only chance to kind of like save money. Because it's already costs a lot for them to go to cons, because some of those booths, oh god, like the to buy the space itself is expensive, so they have to make double their money. But now thinking about it, they probably need to make triple their money to even get like a profit out of this. So, and I know there's a lot of people who come in here just for Artist Alley.
And there are a lot of Artist Alley booths as well that will have to face the same problem. And some of them might not even be there because they can't afford to attend these places.
That's true.
Have to pay for like setting up their stuff.
That's very much true. If anything, I think a lot of conventions are gonna start seeing a lot less people applying to set up their booths there, because it's just not gonna be worth it for them, and it's not their fault. It's just financially, it just wouldn't work out. So that's the upsetting part, because I love going there just to cosplay, but Artist Alley is like the main staple for most people.
Yeah, I mean, like, it kind of hurts me hearing this, because recently Artist Alleys have been good because they've been selling a lot of clothes. And clothes is like a kind of like a big thing for me, because I mean, like, a lot of the clothes that they sell is really good looking, and like, now that this is in effect, it's really gonna be sad just not seeing like less and less of those until they're just, I don't know, if they just can't afford to show up.
Yeah, and I think in return that means conventions are probably going to increase their ticket prices too, to like make up for the lack of like artists going too. I don't know. It's gonna get complicated. I think we just gotta see where this goes, but I think it looks messy so far. And now kind of shifting towards this question. Do you think your goals in terms of cosplay will shift due to the proposal of the new laws affecting the ability to crossplay? Would you do more cosplays to your presented gender? Because if you didn't know, there is some laws that are going to affect that, like, almost kind of villainize that. Like, kind of like how some drag queens are villainized for, dressing up like that. How do you feel? Do you think that's going to affect your cosplaying?
So I think these are also applied for like cross dressers too. But it this was something that you brought up earlier, not like on stream, but it was about the about like how there's like a restriction on like how you can't cosplay a character based on what gender you are, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that would honestly have a pretty bad reaction to it, because at that point you're basically attacking people that want to express themselves based on like how they want to show up at these conventions. And you can express yourself in many different ways, you know, like something that can like I can like put an example, you know, just people just walk around conventions with your body pillow. all of a sudden what? Oh, you can't come to this convention because you have a body pillow on you? It's just uncomfortable. Like that is just gonna be, that's gonna have a really like bad reaction.
Oh yeah.
Again, because you can't just you can't just like not restrict people based on how they want to express themselves in these conventions, especially when they're cross-dressing.
No.
I can't even imagine being a law or just any sort of restriction.
It is crazy, but the thing is, it is happening. Like, there is some conventions, like, example, there's one in Tennessee that is completely ban cross-players. They do not like it. They will escort you off property. They will not allow you back in.
Yeah, that is like insane to me.
It is, because like they're also gonna make a lot of assumptions too. Like, they're gonna just assume what your gender is just from how you look.
That, oh my god. And there's yeah, oh yeah, it's gonna look really nasty at that point. As far as how the West goes over here, it's like over here it's like really expressive. You have like memes where like people are like walking around with like America flags and they're just putting whatever like anime character.
Yeah.
Like it's just things like that. You can't really like restrict, you know. They're just like what harm is it even doing, by the way?
It's not doing harm, but I think
really
it's just like a matter of control, because as we know, conventions, especially like anime conventions, it's a very like safe place for the LGBT. Like, it's just super safe for all our rainbow babies and just different people who just want to express themselves in different ways. So I think it's gonna have like such an effect on these safe spaces, which is sad, because some people go there to be themselves. Some people feel like a lot more relaxed just being there.
Mm-hmm. Wait, you wanna know what Twitter is? Can I just like talk about this for a second?
Yeah, go for it.
So to me, like, the reason why I don't like post or like say anything on Twitter, right? I just like go there to repost, is because Twitter to me is like a game show. And the name of that game show is who is the most right. Not even like politically, not even like correct, just who is the most right. And there's no scheduled runtime on this game show. Everybody there is a participant, and nobody gets the reward, and the reward is like, yes, you're actually right, but you never, like, nobody ever gets that reward. So you have one participant being like, hey, I'm right because of this, and then another one comes in and be like, no, I'm right because of this, and it happens 24/7. And that's why I just don't go on it, because it's like why would I even bother? Nobody wins in the game show.
And
But
who's
anyway,
the
that
host?
was my Twitter rant.
Who's the host of the game show?
Iluma, right? I know or is it the Zuck?
It's Elon. It's Elon.
Ah, so it was Iluma.
Any more thoughts you would like to share before we open the stage?
I think I am good on that. Yeah, I think I'm good on all the stuff I wanted to say. Final thoughts, shoutouts, all that.
Perfect. And that's how the cookie crumbles. What are your socials and where can we find you?
So the social is silveryori.cosplay.